here with you again. Thank you for joining me today and joining me through this Yoga Buzz live event. Quick thank you to Blue Sky Yoga, where I am recording this video. So today we're going to practice a mixed level practice, maybe only about 40-45 minutes. I say that, but I always end up going over, so we'll see where we're led today. But I'm going to invite you to start in a comfortable seat. So if you're in your home and you have props available to you, a blanket or a bolster or something to sit on, that might feel great. Otherwise, just find a comfortable way to sit in your body. You can sit the way I'm sitting, with hips to heels, or cross-legged, or with your legs extended. And I do have a breath practice planned for us today. Before we move into that practice, I'm just going to invite us to inhale our shoulders up by the ears and then release them down. Let's make some circles by moving the shoulders up by the ears, taking them around and back, opening the heart. Just find a few circles here, or if you have a better way, if you've been practicing for a while and you have a better way to come into the shoulders, maybe it's hands to the shoulders. Let's take a moment here to move through that socket where the arm connects to the shoulder. Good. Let's take a few rotations with the neck. So you might start by dropping the chin down and forward. Some people like to just rock side to side. Maybe you take a full rotation, or maybe you just come back and rock side to side. Being very gentle with the neck. Loosening up. For me specifically, I definitely notice a lot of tension here in the shoulders and the neck over the last few weeks. All right, and then come back through center. So let's begin by placing our fingertips down into the ground. Wherever you're sitting, root your fingertips down. Root down through any part of your body that is connected to the mat, to the ground. That might be the feet, the sit bones, the legs. And as you root the fingers in, we're going to inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead as we lift the heart towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we'll spread the fingers wide, bringing the hands all the way back down to the mat. Inhale, reach out. Think of your hands as this extension of your heart, reaching up overhead. Exhale, bringing the hands out and down all the way to the mat. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, creating space as you open and lift. Exhale, fingers come down. One more time, inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, bringing the hands down. All right. And then relax your hands wherever it feels comfortable. We're going to start with the invitation to close the eyes, maybe soften the gaze. When we move into the breath practice, you may want to open your eyes and see what's going on. But for now, maybe you just tune in to what's happening on the inside for just a moment. And set all the distractions aside, because this time that you have carved out to sit down and watch this live video or this recorded video, this time is just for you. You've made the time to make it happen. Now it's time to disconnect from all of those distractions and place all of your awareness on yourself, on your breath, on your body, on your emotions, on whatever it is that's happening right now inside of you. In this moment, you are the most important thing. And you're going to give all your attention to yourself. And begin to create a deeper, longer breath. Maybe you take inhalation and exhalation through the nostrils. I know some of us are in that allergy season. This may not be possible. Maybe you have a tissue nearby. I do find that even if we're congested, the breathing in and out of the nostrils can be very helpful in removing anything that may be in the way. Notice here the way the body expands with each inhale. And then follow the body as it retracts, as everything moves back into the midline of the body with the exhale. When you inhale, you're calling in air and you feel the body expand. The ribs open, the lungs expand, the heart lifts. Maybe even some spreading in through the collarbone. And as you exhale, everything gently, slowly comes back in towards the center of the body. Gently inhaling, opening, creating space. Space between the vertebrae, space for the breath, and slowly exhaling. Nothing to rush here, just beginning to set a pace for the breath, creating your own rhythm, and acknowledging this amazing animated force, this prana, this energy, this ki, this chi, whatever you call it, that is moving in and out of the body. Your life force energy. And begin to strengthen that life force energy with this breath, with this full, complete, expansive breath. Take a few more rounds without rushing, without anticipating what's next. Whenever you feel ready, the eyes are closed, you can gently blink them open. All right, thank you. So I want to invite us into one more breath practice. This practice is one that perhaps you don't do as much because it seems really awkward and different and just weird. But it is a breath that I find to be amazing for bringing balance into the mind, into the body, bringing balance into both hemispheres of the brain. And also it really is good for clearing out the nasal passages, which again, I know may not be as easy for some of us. So if you want to grab some tissue and blow out the nose here, it'd be a great time. I'm going to offer alternate nostril breathing. So I'm turning kind of sideways here because I'm not going to attempt to mirror you on this. But I'm going to invite you to perhaps use your right hand and bring that right hand in front of the body. And you're going to come into Vishnu Mudra. So you take your peace fingers and you fold them in, and your thumb and your other two fingers are still extended. And you're going to use this to close off the nasal passages in the nose. And I'm going to walk you through that, but the thumb is going to come to the right side, and the pinky finger or the other finger is going to come to the left side. And so bringing your arm in front of you, if any time your arm gets tired, just know you can use the other hands for support under the elbow. And we'll start by bringing our thumb to the right nostril, and we're going to inhale through the left nostril. Once you pull the air in, you're going to use your finger to close off the left nostril and allow the exhale to release out of the right side. On your inhale, take the inhale through the right nostril. Use your thumb to close off the right nostril, release the left, and we'll exhale through the left side. Inhale, left nostril. Use your fingers to close off the left side and let the exhale release through the right nostril. nostril. Use your thumb to close the right nostril and exhale left side. Inhale, left nostril. Use your fingers to close the left nostril. Exhale will come out the right. Inhale, right side. Exhaling left. You're going to continue this way for a few rounds. If there is congestion in the nose, know that you don't have to fully close off the nostril. You can let some air flow through. Keep moving side to side. If you get confused and you forget what side you're on, it's no problem. Just start over. We're just allowing air to flow through one side at a time. This is great for bringing balance into both hemispheres of the brain. I've heard this referred to as skull shining breath, Nadi Shodhana, which is purifying of the flow or the channels. Stick with it for a few more rounds. Taking your time. Move through one more round on each side without rushing. And when you're finished, your final exhale will come through the left side. Perhaps your eyes are closed, so when you finish your final exhalation, you could just gently release your hands down to your lap. And I'd like to invite us to pause here for a moment. And just notice if you feel any difference after that short breath practice. So I'll take a full inhale together. Exhale through the mouth. Let's do that again. Take an inhale. Exhale through the mouth. If your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. All right. Let's begin to take some movement. So I'm going to invite you to come into either a cross-legged seat, or you could extend your legs out wide with the heels rooted down. Either one of these will work. We're going to just move through a few rounds of hip circles. So maybe you like to take your hands to the legs for support. And as we inhale, let's bring our rotation forward. And as we exhale, take it back. Begin to create a firm foundation through any part of your body that's touching the ground. It doesn't matter how you're sitting. But keep that downward rooting energy. Just loosen up through the rib cage, through the hips a little bit. And then switch up your rotation, take it the other way. And then coming back up through center. All right, and with your legs either crossed or extended, we're going to bring the hands to the legs once more. You could gently squeeze your elbows in towards the side body and lift the heart through center. We'll move through a few rounds of seated cat-cow. So on the inhale, you'll pull your heart through, lifting the heart towards the ceiling. Maybe the gaze comes up towards the ceiling. You might even lean in as you squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back body. And as you exhale, we're going to pull the belly button towards the spine, round the shoulders forward, drop the chin in for your cat. On your inhale, pull the elbows back, lift the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades on the back body, lift the gaze, pulling the heart through. Exhale, rounding in. Just begin to move this way, forward and back, gently rocking the spine, tilting the pelvis. Good. After your next round, we'll release and come back through center. Come into a little bit of lateral side bends. You're going to take your left hand down to the ground. You can come up onto fingertips if you like, even walk the fingertips out a little further. We're going to inhale, lift the right arm up and take a bend to the left. On your inhale, lift up through center. Bring that right hand all the way down to the ground, and then inhale, lift the left arm up and take a bend to the right. Inhale, torso comes up through center. Hand comes all the way down to the ground. We'll inhale, lift the right arm up, take a bend to the left. I'm just going to flow back and forth. Hand comes all the way down to the ground, and you inhale and bend the opposite direction. A few times, back and forth, just opening up through the side body. One more time on each side. And release. All right. I'm going to invite you to extend your left leg out long and to pull your right foot in towards the groin. And then here with your left leg extended, root the heel down and pull the toes back towards the shin, so flexing the foot. And we're first just going to turn towards that extended leg, so moving the navel point towards that extended leg. We'll walk the hands forward either on either side of the leg, or you can reach for the ankle or the foot. Reach out through the crown of the head, find extension in the spine before gently bowing the chin down. Bring awareness to that right hip. Notice if it wants to lift up and just root it down into the mat. Your next inhale, reach the crown of the head a little longer. Exhale, bow in. When you're ready, we'll inhale. We'll come all the way up through center. We'll turn the navel point back towards center. Now with your leg extended, I'm going to invite you to begin to twist your navel point away from the extended leg. So to the right, and then using your left hand, bring it down either to the ground in front of you or cross body towards the opposite knee, whichever one of these work for you. We're going to begin to lean in a little bit to the left. I want you to bring awareness to that top right shoulder and roll it up and back. So we're beginning to twist the chest open towards the ceiling. You can even use this front hand as leverage and support to twist the body. Inhale, lift your right arm up overhead, and we'll begin to take a side bend towards that extended leg. Some people can reach the toes, maybe. I'm going to find breath here. On your inhale, we'll lift back up through center. We're going to walk both hands forward. I like to come up onto fingertips. Think about extending the crown of the head forward, rooting the tailbone down and back. And once you come to the edge of your forward fold, some people like to drop the chin down. Finding steady breath here. Take an inhale, extend out through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold in. Your next inhale will begin to lift and walk the fingertips back, coming up. And then we're just going to switch legs. So you can pull the left foot in, extend the right out long. Take a minute to build your foundation, rooting that heel down into the mat. We'll start by twisting the navel point towards the extended leg. When you're ready, you can take your fingertips alongside the leg and begin to walk them forward, finding a gentle forward fold. Thinking of extending the spine long through the crown of the head while also rooting it down and back through the tailbone, through the sit bones. Maybe you drop the chin in. On your inhale, maybe find an extension, lifting just a little bit. Exhale, folding in. And on the inhale, we'll walk the hands back, lifting the torso up through center, unwinding. All right, now we're going to begin to move that navel point to the left just a little bit. And we're going to drop that right hand down either to the front of the body, or some people like to get to opposite leg. We'll begin to lean in a little bit towards that extended leg to your right. And then your left shoulder is going to roll back and open. We're twisting the body open towards the ceiling. Your hand is here for leverage. And then when you're ready, you can lift that left arm up and begin to bend towards the extended leg. Maybe you grab onto those toes. Maybe not. Steady breath. On your inhale, we'll lift back up through center. Unwind. Come tall in the spine. Plant the fingertips down in front of you. We'll begin to walk the hands forward, finding that forward fold. Once you come to the edge, maybe you drop the head down. Take a full inhale with extension in the crown of the head. Exhale, bow in just a little bit more. And then inhale, walking the hands back, lifting the torso up. All right. I'm going to turn a little bit sideways so you can see me. We're going to extend the legs out in front of us, planting the feet down on the mat, rooting the feet in. You can take your hands down by the hips or behind the hips for support. Your fingers can face forward or out to the side, but press energy down into the hands so you can lift up tall through the heart, maybe even squeezing the shoulder blades onto the back body. With your feet planted on the ground, we're going to inhale in the center. And on the exhale, you'll drop both knees over to the left side. On your inhale, bring the knees back up through center, dropping both knees over to your right. We'll go back and forth for a few rounds, inhaling through center, exhale, dropping the knees down, inhaling up, dropping the knees. We're going to inhale up through center, and this time as we drop the knees over to the left, I'm going to invite you to lift your right arm up from behind you, bring it all the way around, create this rotation through the torso, and bring the hand all the way down towards the ground. And you're twisting your navel point now down towards the mat. You could begin to walk the hands out a little further. Some people like to come down onto the forearms in this twist. You decide what feels good for you. And find a few rounds of breath here. And on your inhale, you're going to lift that right arm up all the way around. You'll take it down to the ground, lift the knees up through center, and we'll come into the other side. So dropping the knees over to the right. This time your left hand's going to pick up. You'll rotate it all the way around. And as the hand comes down to the ground, you're moving your navel point. You're twisting your navel point to the right. And you can stay up on your hands, or you can come down onto forearms. And then bring the breath in here in this twist. Good, inhale here, filling the lungs, and exhaling. Root into your right hand, left hand's going to reach all the way up and around, planting it back on the ground, lifting the knees back up through center. Good. Before we come up onto hands and knees, I'm going to invite you to walk the feet out a little further. We're going to lift the hands up off of the ground and bring the hands behind the knees. Coming up onto the sit bones, invitation would be to lift the toes up off the ground. You can stay here, squeezing the elbows and lifting the heart. Maybe you lift one foot up off the ground, and you can play with that, transferring to the other foot. Maybe you lift both feet up off the ground. If it's in your practice to release your hands, you could extend your hands. Some people might even extend your legs. I'm going to grab tight once more here. But take a moment here to find this balance. Come into a little bit of core, maybe a lot. And then gently release. And we're going to make our way over onto hands and knees. If you have a blanket there at home or article of clothing, you can place it under the knees for support. Once you get there, we're going to spread the fingers wide. You can come onto the tops of the feet, or you can tuck the toes, whatever feels best in your body. Now I'm going to invite you to walk your hands forward, maybe just about one handprint. We're going to inhale here, and on your exhale, press your hips back towards the heels, finding this active version of a child's pose. Some people might even like to come up onto the fingertips, but the arms are strong, reaching, active. You might drop your head down here. As you inhale, we're going to lift up, shifting the body forward. Your shoulders can come out over the fingertips. Maybe you drop the hips down and take your gaze up. We'll pause here for a breath. On your inhale, pull your belly button up towards the spine. As you shift your hips back towards the heels, you might tuck your toes under. We're rocking back to that child's pose, a very active child's pose. And as you inhale, we'll rock forward. Maybe you flip the toes, tops of the feet can come down. You'll drop the hips and pull the heart through. I'm just going to move through a few rounds like this, shifting back and forth, child's pose. Coming up through a supported plank, dropping the hips down, lifting the heart. A few more rounds, back and forth. On your inhale, rocking back up to tabletop. We'll come into the other side. Maybe you tuck the toes under. This time I'm going to lift the left leg up behind me, reaching through the heel, bracing the belly button towards the spine. You could play with balance by lifting the opposite hand, and the right hand up in front of you. And you could stay here, or maybe you like to play with extending the arm and the leg out to the side, bringing it back through center, gently releasing the hand and the knee down. We'll press back, child's pose. Take an inhale and an exhale. As you inhale, we'll come back up through hands and knees. We're going to lift the left arm up, reach it up, open up, and as you exhale, bring it down under the body, thread it through to the right side, dropping left shoulder down and left side of the face down to the mat. So threading the needle. You could walk your right hand out a little bit. Use it as leverage to twist the body under the arm. You could stay here just coming into the shoulder. If you're feeling like it's fun to play with balance, maybe you see what it's like to lift that right knee up off the ground, maybe extending the leg up in the air. And if the leg is lifted, bring it back down. Walk your hand in for support, and we'll gently unwind, coming back through center. Good. Coming into the other side. This time, you're going to lift your right arm up, open up in a twist, and as you exhale, bring the hand down and through, threading it under. This time, your right shoulder and the right side of the face can come down to the mat. You can walk your palm forward for support. Staying here, playing with balance, you would lift the left knee up off the ground, maybe extend the leg up towards the ceiling. If the leg is lifted, gently release. You can walk the hand back. We'll lift back up to tabletop, pressing back into child's pose. Take a breath. From child's pose, lift the head up, walk your fingers out far in front of you, press firmly into the pads of the fingers, spread the fingers wide. Tuck your toes under. We'll begin to lift the hips up into the air, straighten the legs, moving towards downward dog. So pause here in your downward dog. Maybe you pedal out the toes. I'm going to take off my socks. I'm sorry, maybe you pedal out through the knees, not the toes. I guess it is the toes too, right guys? Nothing to rush here. I'm going to invite you to bend the knees deeply. Press your hips back. Press your belly to the thighs. Coming into this hovering dog. And then straighten the legs. In this downward dog, maybe take your feet just a little bit wider. Widen your base. And then walk your hands back maybe about one handprint. Lifting the left hand up, take it across body towards the opposite ankle, towards the right ankle. Releasing the hand back to the mat. This time you'll take the right hand to the left ankle. And release, hand down to the mat. When you're ready, we're going to make our way to the top of the mat. So you can walk your feet forward, you can hop forward, you can walk your hands back to the feet. We'll all come up to the top of the mat, and we'll meet in a forward fold. And take your time getting there. Maybe you put a bend in the knees, maybe a little bounce. You might grab onto opposite elbow. Let's bring our hands, our palms, right below the knees to the tops of the shins. And as you inhale, reach through the crown of your head. Reach it forward, brace your belly towards your spine, coming into a flat back. You can stay here, or you can begin to reach your arms out in front of you. And this too is a great place to stay, creating some core strength. Maybe you bend the knees, sit the hips down, lift the torso and the arms up, coming into chair. And on your exhale, we're going to fold forward. We're going to create a little bit of a flow with that chair posture that we just went through. We're going to start with a 4 count. So on your inhale, lift halfway to a flat back and extend your arms out in front of you. 3, 2, 1. Sit the hips down, lift the torso, arms come up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. 3, 2, 1. Forward fold. And we'll pause here. 3, 2, 1. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back, reach your arms out in front of you. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, sitting the hips down, lifting the torso, arms come up. 3, 2, 1. Very slow forward fold, hinging forward. 3, 2, 1. Hanging and forward fold. 3, 2, 1. Just like that, we'll do it again. Inhale, halfway lift, reach your arms out in front of you. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, set the hips down, lift the torso, arms come up, chair pose. 2, 1. Exhale, gently fold forward. 3, 2, 1. Let everything hang. 3, 2, 1. Good. Root into the feet. We're going to reach the arms out wide as we lift all the way up to standing and pull the hands into the heart. All right, are we warmed up? Let's move through a few rounds of a half sun salutation. So rooting down, you're going to inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, find your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bowing in. Root down. We'll rise up to standing with a gentle bend in the knees. Maybe you look up, hands come into the heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, bow all the way down. On your inhale, rise up to standing, reaching the arms out, up overhead. Hands come into heart. Good, last one. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Lifting halfway up. Exhale, bow. Root into the feet. We'll rise all the way up to standing. Arms can go overhead. Hands can come into heart. All right, nice. I want to move through a little bit of balancing posture. So from the top of your mat, come about feet about hip distance apart, maybe a little wider, and then find your mountain pose. That's your tall, strong, standing posture. And it starts at the foundation with the feet. Maybe you gently pull the low belly in and up. Make your shoulders around and back down. And reach up through the crown of your head. I'm going to take my hands to my hips for support. And then you're going to shift weight into your right foot and come up onto left toes. From here, we're going to begin to rotate that left knee open out to the side. And you can walk your toes in close to the ankle of the opposite foot. And this is a great place to stay working on balance, using the toe as a kickstand. Before you go any further, if you choose to go any further, invitation here is to pull up out through the sides of the hip. Find some length in the body. Try not to dump into one side. come tall in the spine and reach up through the crown of your head. Maybe the next step for you is to lift the toes up off the floor and bring that left foot and press it firmly into the calf of the standing foot. Now, if it's in your practice to take your foot up higher, please go ahead and take your foot up as high as it feels comfortable on your body. Maybe you find a focal point on the ground to send your attention. And then you can stay with your hands down, or maybe you play with reaching the arms out, up overhead. Maybe you sway the arms side to side. Keep pressing that left foot into the standing leg. Keeping the leg where it is, bring the arms down. See if we can turn the knee to face forward. Maybe you don't sit it down, maybe you do. It's up to you. And then from here, we're going to begin to hinge forward and extend that leg out behind us. So we're moving towards Warrior Three. And your leg could be lifted. I'm going to turn sideways. Your leg could be lifted up in the air, or you can keep the toes down on the ground. Then when you're ready, we'll unwind, set the foot down, shake out that standing leg. And let's try that on the other side. So we'll start by rooting down into the left foot, coming up onto right toes. Notice if you're dumping into that hip. Pull up tall through the sides of the body. Brace the belly towards the spine. You can begin to turn that right knee out to the side. You can walk the toes in towards the ankle. Staying here, or lifting the foot off the ground, placing the foot on the calf. Maybe you take the foot up a little higher to the inside of the left thigh. And decide if you want to extend the arms out, maybe up overhead. Never underestimate the importance of finding a focal point on the floor, a drishti, where you can send your gaze and attention. And if the arms are lifted, you can bring them back to the hips. We're going to turn that right knee forward. Your toe could touch down, and you can lift it up in front of you. And we'll begin to hinge forward, extending that right leg out behind you. And you can bring the body towards parallel, working towards Warrior Three, or the foot could top down towards the back of the mat. You decide. And when you're ready, we'll come all the way back upright, release, and unwind. Whew. All right. So a little bit more movement, and we'll cool down. I'm going to invite you to come to standing at the top of the mat. We're going to step back with the right foot. We're going to keep both legs moving towards straight, but I often like to widen my base, so walking my feet a little further towards the edges of the mat. And then here, gently pull that back hip, that right hip forward, and let the front hip gently come back. So we're beginning to turn our hips towards the front. On your inhale, we're going to reach the arms up overhead. Turn your palms to face forward. And as you exhale, we'll release the palms down by the side, press the palms to the space behind you, and bow forward. For this version of a floating lotus, on your inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, arms come down by sides, press to the space behind you, lean forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, hands come down, squeeze the shoulder blades back, leaning in. Last one. Lifting all the way back up. Releasing the hands down to heart center, we'll step the back foot up. Maybe shake that out. Coming into the other side, we're going to step the left foot back. I like to widen my base, take my feet further apart. Pull that back left hip forward as I let the front hip gently come back. And firm my foundation. rooting into the feet. We'll inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Palms are going to face forward. We'll inhale here. On your exhale, sweep the hands down by the sides, press to the space behind you, lean forward, squeeze shoulder blades on the back body. And then create your flow for 3 more rounds. Inhaling up, exhaling forward. Inhaling up, exhaling forward. Last one. I really lost count, so we're definitely just going to do one more. And then reaching up. Exhale, hands come to heart, and we step it up. All right. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, find your forward fold. Hang out here for just a breath. Hands can come down to the mat, put a bend in the knees. We're going to step back to tabletop or plank. And you decide. I'm going to offer the option to flow through a vinyasa since we didn't do any so far in this class. So either with knees up or down, you can shift the shoulders forward over the fingertips, hugging the elbows in, lower down. Press into the feet and the hands as you lift the heart and the shoulders, squeezing the shoulders back, finding cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press up and up, back and up to tabletop. Then we're just going to make our way onto our back. There's no rush. Take your time. Coming over. Once you get there, I like to start with my knees bent. Walk the feet out towards the edges of the mat. You can take your hands to the body or out wide. And then just begin to drop both knees over to the right. We're going to come back into those windshield wiper motions. And then bring the knees back up through center. You can drop them to the left. And then you decide, do you like the movement in and out, going back and forth, or do you like to pause on one side and hold? The choice is yours for the next few rounds of breath, determining what feels best in your body. What is most supportive in this moment? Whenever you feel complete, we're going to bring the knees back up through center. Lifting the left foot up off the ground, hug the left knee in towards the belly. You can grab behind the knee, on top of the knee, towards the shin. Squeeze it in, either to the belly or outside the belly. Point and flex the left toes. And then here, maybe you walk your right foot forward just a little bit and press the foot into the ground as you hug the left knee into the chest. Or maybe you extend the foot out all the way long on the mat with the heel rooted in. Whichever one works best for you. We're going to guide our leg into a twist. So using the opposite hand to the top of the knee, you're going to guide the knee across body, rolling up onto the hip. Keep lifting that left knee up towards the face. Maybe you release the left arm out to the side. You could even look out towards those left fingertips. Inhale. Unwind, come back through center. Before we release that left foot, option to extend that left foot up towards the ceiling. And you might just release the hands, or you might grab onto the back of the thigh. Some people like to walk the hand up to the calf or the ankle and lift the shoulders up off the ground. You decide what's best for you in this moment. And then gently release the foot down to the ground. We're going to lift the right knee up towards the chest. Just going to grab hold either behind the knee or the top of the knee. You can walk the right foot forward a little bit. Or you can extend the leg long on the mat with heel rooted down. Just give a nice squeeze. Maybe you point and flex that right foot. And then coming into that twist, use your opposite hand to guide that leg across body, rolling up onto the hip. Maybe you extend your right arm out long, look over the right fingertips. And when you're ready, we'll unwind, come back through center, plant the feet down. And then make any last movements that would feel good in your body. Maybe you're ready to come straight into rest. Maybe there's something that your body really needs that I didn't offer. We'll take a moment here to find any last movements. Whenever you feel ready, we're going to set ourselves up for a final rest. You can lay flat on your back, on your side, on your belly. Maybe you have a pillow or something you can place under the knees. But find a comfortable way to be in your body for rest. I know some of us, that's our absolute favorite part of yoga. So make sure you find comfort here. See if you can soften the body a little bit, give it permission to release, maybe even surrender to this moment, just this moment, or just the next few moments. Set yourself up in a way that perhaps you can stay here a bit longer. Maybe you close the eyes or cover the face. Let the tissues and muscles soften, the bones come heavy, and feel supported in your space, the space you've created for your yoga practice. In this moment, I feel supported. Supported by the ground, my mat, the earth, supported in my body. And of course, still that support in our yoga community, even if it is just virtually. And I want to invite you to lay here as long as you can, as long as you can allow. No rush to get up. And I'm going to kindly bow out, so I'll bring my hands to heart center. Drop my head towards my fingertips. I hope in these last few moments you find rest and comfort. Allow yourself the opportunity to restore. Thank you for sharing yoga with me. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.